Okay, Siman Nun Dalet. And we're talking about the question that a bunch of questions that you posed in the last Siman on this Tana Deveil Yo story. Again, just to briefly review what the questions are. First of all, Moshe Rabbeinu sent the 12 spies to Eretz Yisrael, and he told them, according to the Tana Deveil Yo, he told them, go openly. And Yehoshea sent 2 spies, and he told them, go secretly. What's the difference? And number 2, Moshe told them, when they ask you if you come to cut down the Avodah Zarah, tell them no. Why did he tell them that? Isn't there a mitzvah to cut down Avodah Zarah? So, let's see what he answers. And also the third question, by the way, was why was when the Canaanim, the Achima and Sheshai V'Salmai met them, why did they ask them about cutting down Avodah Zarah? Why didn't they ask them, did you come to conquer the land? That's the most natural question. Okay, so the answer is Dihinei Amru Chazal b'Meseches Avodah Zarah daf Mem Hem Beis. Chazal say Gidua Avodah Zarah. This is what we quoted already. Cutting down Avodah Zarah koydem l'kibush Eretz Yisrael is before conquering the land. Pirush Rashi b'chnisasam. As soon as they walk into the land, nitztavu l'gadam. They're commanded to cut them down miyad, immediately. U'yachar kibush yachpesu achreim. After they finish conquering, then they'll do a more thorough search. To completely destroy all of Avodah Zarah. But at the beginning, they have to just cut down the main open Avodah Zarah. The kiva de chazinin ba beis bitulim. Since we find there are 2 words in the pasuk in Parashas Re'eh that speak about cutting down Avodah Zarah, it says kedegadeun v'tisrafun, cut them down and burn them. So amrinan that v'nitatztem koydem l'kibush. There's also a few words. I don't think he's quoting the whole thing. V'nitatztem es mizbechoisam, v'shibartem es matzevoisam, v'asherehem tisrufun boesh, u'fesilei Elohem tegadeun. So it's actually 4 words. But anyway, Amrinan de v'nitatztem koydem l'kibush. Knock them down before you conquer. Uliacher kibush bo'ay streifa. But after you finish conquering, then you do the streifa, you do the burning. So you just knock them over first. You have them lying there, just cut down, like chop down trees, and then you go back and you burn them. That's what tisrafun means burn. So first you cut them down, then you do the conquest, then you burn. The Gemara says that everyone agrees to this halacha. Nobody disagrees. Ayin Sham. B'yarti b'sifri vayol Moshe, Maimer Aleph Siman Sadik. I explained over there, Shah Rambam kivim lazeh, that the Rambam also writes this, Bilshoinai Azav, meaning he doesn't write it explicitly, but in his golden language, so to speak. The Rambam, everyone knows when we learn a Rambam, you have to learn up the words exactly and make inferences, and not everything is explicit in the Rambam, but every word was carefully chosen. So therefore, the Rambam in his golden language, Perek Zayin, Halacha Aleph, the Rebbe reads into this obligation also. Because if you look it up there in Vayol Moshe, the Rambam says that he makes 3 rules. He says, first of all, if you see an Avodah Zarah anywhere, even in exile, even today, if it comes into your hand, into your possession, you have to burn it. But you're not going to go around doing that to other people's things. Only if it comes into your possession, or you find it. Okay, then the second thing he says is if you're conquering a land, like let's say Jews conquer a piece of land somewhere in the world, not in Eretz Yisrael, then Jews are mechuyev to destroy Avodah Zarah. And then he says the third case is if they conquer Eretz Yisrael, then it's more strict, and they have to, he says, mimasharish, means they have to go around searching for every Avodah Zarah and destroying it. So the Rebbe wants to say the third category. What's the difference between the second category and the third category? What's the difference between destroying it in a land somewhere in Uganda or some other place, or in Eretz Yisrael? So he says the difference is that in Eretz Yisrael you have to destroy it before you get there, before you conquer it. That's how he learns the Rambam. Okay. Anyway, me'ata al pi ha'Torah aser lichboish Eretz Yisrael. You can't conquer Eretz Yisrael ela imken yachrisu ha'asheros, unless you cut down the Asherah trees, v'yabdu kol avodah zarah shebesoich, and you destroy every avodah zarah that's there. V'yadu zayin hu'umois b'tachsis Yisrael. So now he says like this: why the nations of the world react the way they react, when the nations of Canaan? Why they react when the Meraglim came the way they reacted? Because they knew this law. Here, the Achima and Sheshai and Salmai, these giants of Canaan, they knew the law They knew what the Rebbe says in Vayol Moshe, Simon Tzadik, and what the Rambam says. They knew that and the Gemara in Avodah Zarah Daf Mem Hey, they knew that you have to destroy Avodah Zarah before you come to the land. Oh, so they said, what are these Jews coming in? The whole army didn't come yet. Only 12 people came. So what are they coming for? Obviously they're coming to do the job of destroying Avodah Zarah, to make way for the army, right? They knew how strict Jews are about idolatry. Not only they knew it from the Torah, but they knew it back from the time of Avraham Avinu. And Yitzchak and not Yaakov, they also didn't have Avodah Zarah. So therefore the nations looked at it as like a test, sort of like a way of telling whether the Jews are about to launch an attack. They said, if you see they're coming and you're knocking down the idols, okay, that means the attack's about to happen. So therefore they asked the spies, what did you come for? Maybe you came to cut down the Avodah Zarah. When they said no, Shigrum Mishalom, they sent them away in peace. They didn't kill them. Now, why did they believe them? Well, just, they could say, no, we're not coming, and do it at night. The answer is, these giants were keeping guard. They knew if the Jews do anything funny, they try to knock down the tree, they'll be after them. So anyway, Shigrum Mishalom, they sent them away peacefully. They knew that the time of the conquest had not yet come. At the time of Moshe, they knew that this Gzeira was made already, that they wouldn't get the land now. And only 40 years later. So this is the medrash that explains what the sin of the spies was. He says that this is like a mashal of a king who made a shidduch for his son with a certain woman, and he told his son, the medrash says there, he told his son, I have a beautiful girl for you, she's from a good family, she's rich, everything's good about her, right? And the son said, I want to see her. So not like today when people actually see their bride before they marry them. Back then, they were expected to just believe their father. So here the king was saying, I have this beautiful girl for you. He was supposed to trust his father, but no. He said, I want to see her. So the father got angry. He said, you know what? If I don't let you see her, you're going to think I lied to you. So fine, you'll see her, but you won't get her. So he said, I'll give her to your son. So the same thing. Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Im akivani alehem. No, I skipped the line. Sorry. Kacha Kodesh Baruch Hu Amal Yisrael Toiva haaretz. Hashem said to the Jews, the land is good. V'lo yeheminu, but they didn't believe him. Ela amru nishlecha anashim. They said, let's send spies. So Amar Kodesh Baruch Hu, Im akivani alehem. I don't let them see the land. Hey moimim al she'ena toiva lo yeharalanu. They'll say it's because it wasn't good that he didn't want to show it to us. Ela yiru, let them see it. But I'm swearing that none of them will get to see it, to actually conquer it. Shneimar imiru is the hearts that they won't see the land, but rather their kids will see it. So as soon as the spies got sent, it was already decided that now is not the time. Why did they send the Meraglim right away? The Rebbe says, look at my Sefer Chedushim, which may be printed in Divrei Yoel today. I don't know. So now, since we know that the conquest time has not come yet, right? So there was no chiyuv to destroy the Avodah Zarah at that point. The Torah didn't obligate us to destroy Avodah Zarah unless it's the time now to conquer. Moshe said, don't go secretly into the land. Go openly. If they ask you that Shem Lahakis Avodah Zarah bossed them, that you came to cut down the idols, say we didn't. And that's how the nations will know the truth. That's like saying to them openly, yeah, we're not coming to do anything to you right now. Therefore they won't hurt you. And that's what they ended up doing. And now, as we said in the story, that they said to the giants, we're not coming to conquer you. Okay, he says, this was the way they were saved. I guess this is the best way. The way that Moshe Rabbeinu's spies were saved was the best way, because they said, we're not coming to do anything to you. The Meraglim Sheshalach Yehoshea, but later on, when Yehoshea sent spies, that they tried a different tactic. They couldn't use Moshe's tactic, because then it was really the time to conquer. So they had to do a different tactic, which was disguise. So they said, okay, we're pot salesmen. The Amorites, the Canaanites, realized who they were. They needed a miracle to be saved. Chazal say, the Pinchas hayasham, the haya roya ve'eno nira. Pinchas was able to make himself invisible, and that's how they somehow got away. The Alkain kedei l'mayit benisa, but in order to reduce the nace, means they knew there was going to have to be a miracle of some kind, but in order to reduce the need for a miracle, gam shetehei hatzalasam yoyser berura, and also that they should other way around. In Moshe's time, that they weren't coming to conquer, Moshe didn't want to tell them to disguise themselves, because that's not going to necessarily work. They might catch them. So therefore he said, they would have more likelihood of being saved. He said, don't go in like thieves. Rather, save your lives by telling them that you're not coming to do anything to the idols. And even then, the Meraglim needed a nace. I don't know what that is, but he says, that it says wherever we went, when the spies came back, they said Eretz Ochelas Yoshveha, it's a land that eats up its inhabitants. And Rashi says on Chumash that every place they went, they saw them burying their dead. So they thought, it looks like people die a lot in Eretz Yisrael. But really the reason was because Hashem made people die at that time, so they should be busy with the funerals and they shouldn't notice the spies. And so that was one nace, and also they needed a nace. It's true that the giants asked them the question, why did you come? And they answered back, yeah, we didn't come for this. But not everybody's going to ask questions. It's like the old joke, right? Shoot first, ask questions later. And like the anti-Semites wanted to make a pogrom, and they're going to shoot every dog in town. So the Jews are hiding, and they say, why are you hiding? You're not a dog. The answer is, tell that to them after they shoot you. So basically, not everyone's going to ask questions. So better just avoid it. But obviously they had to go, so they were samach on the nace. They didn't tell everybody this thing, that they weren't coming for Avodah Zarah. But in order to minimize the miracle, we told them this piece of advice. Later on, when Yehoshea sent spies, they were right away, miyad, they were about to invade. And they were actually about to destroy the Avodah Zarah. So they couldn't say we're not coming to destroy it, because they really were. They couldn't say that they weren't going to destroy it, even though really they were. They weren't allowed to lie. Why? Because saying the words that you're not planning to destroy it is also like agreeing to it. Mitzvahs I say test, mitzvahs I say nikdashti b'soich b'nei Yisrael, by when you're talking about Kiddush Hashem, which is making a Kiddush Hashem, publicly declaring that you're a Jew, and like if a guy points a gun and says bow to the idol, or say that you agree with the idol, you're not allowed to say it. So even saying words could be Kiddush Hashem. So here also the saying, then he says, V'zel Hashoyna, the Rambam says, V'loy nisa ehu, we're not allowed to fool the non-Jew into thinking lachshav shekafarnu, to think that we denied Hashem. Even though in our hearts we agree and we believe in Hashem, Yisala, but still we're not allowed to fool them by saying words that are false. So same thing here, you're not allowed to fool them by saying you're not coming to cut down the idol, if you really are. Ukamash kasiv archaim hakadosh parshish mishpatim alakasiv loy sishtachav Elohem. V'loy sa'avdeim, Not the pasuk in the Aseres Adibris, which is loisi shtachave lehem v'lois avdim, but different pasuk. Loisi shtachave v'lois avdim. I think there's a word missing here. Loisi shtachave leloheim v'lois avdim. I think ki hares teharseim, but rather completely destroy them. Bezel Shaina, the Archaim says, Liyos sheratza litzavoisam al risasam, because he's commanding them about destroying them, v'al shivroinam, and breaking them. Lazek kadam loymar lois ishtachave v'lois avdim. Don't bow to them. What does that have to do with it? Well, who would have a thought in their mind to bow to it? Sheim loy haras, because it's saying that if you don't destroy it, v'lois shibra, you don't break it, hinehu ka'ovid avodah, it's as if you served it. Ki Hashem toifes al machshava b'avodah zarah, because Hashem punishes for thoughts too. Utzrichim heker al shlilas machshavas avodah zarah milibam. They have to do something physical to show that they don't believe in the avodah zarah. Ve'ein heker el b'shever matzei voisam. The only way to show that is by knocking down the matzeva, the idol's altar. V'im lo yasu kain, if they don't do it, harehem k'oiv de avodah zarah. They're considered like they themselves worshipped it. The Timsa, shehikbid HaKadosh Baruch Hu, hikbid Hashem al Yisrael, shaloi asu kain. We find that it's taka true that Hashem was angry at them for not destroying the avodah zarah. Bichnisasan la'aretz, ad kan l'shoin kadshay. Where does it say that? It says, I think maybe in the end of Yehoshea or the beginning of Shoftim, it says they didn't destroy all the Canaanim. I think it might say there's something about not knocking down the idols. Anyway, so you see that Hashem commanded us to do something physical, to take the thought of idol worship out of our minds. If a Jew doesn't do this, it's as if he's worshipping it. And therefore, all the more so today with the Zionists, that when they say openly, when they say they don't want to destroy it, or maybe he's not talking about the Zionists yet, he's talking about the time of Yehoshua. If these spies are coming in secretly and they want to destroy the Avodah Zarah, if they ask them, they're not allowed to say no, we're not, because that would be like denying openly that you're coming to destroy it. So therefore, so therefore, when Yehoshua sent spies, it was about to be conquered, they weren't allowed to say we're not coming to destroy it. Therefore, they needed to hide themselves and pretend to be pot salesmen. And they were saved through a miracle when they were caught. When Moshe sent Meraglim, they didn't need this. Therefore, it was better to minimize the miracle. Therefore, Moshe said, don't go secretly, but rather tell them that you're not coming to destroy it. This answers our questions.